What's up, everyone? This is Sherry from the Chicago Clubhouse podcast for our debut show of our new one. She said what she said. You might have noticed I have changed my name from Cher Bear to Sherry because we are going to get real in here. So I have to go by my government. It's actually not my government. Hopefully, my mom will never be in the comments and tell you guys what my real name is. My number two for this one, my co-host. She is a killer on the basketball court and a killer on the football field. Please bring in Miss Labrinthia.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Labrinthia, aka B, whichever you prefer. I know Labrinthia is a mouthful, so B or LB is just fine. I mostly go by B. Like Sherry says, I come from a basketball background, flag football background, tackle football with the LFL background. Played at Lewis University basketball for 4 years in college, and then I played in Iceland overseas. And now I work for an IT company, and I play flag football year-round. National champs. Shout out to my co-ed team, the band, and shout out to my women's team, Dora Milaje. This national champ was for Chicago, though. It was a group of all the women who play out there in the flag league. So this one was big. This one means a lot. And yeah.
Which team was that one with? Force?
No, this one was with Dora Milaje. We also won with Force. That was the combination. Dora, just like Force, was a combination of all of the women's teams. We had some OGs players, some Sax players, combination of everybody. So, that was a Chicago win. Same with Force. So yeah, I got 2 natties, okay? 2 national championships.
You said one.
Yeah, we got 2. I did. I was getting to it there. I was getting to it. Yeah. 2 national championships. I actually got a co-ed national championship with Chaos and Chaotic, actually. We haven't brought that one back in a long time. But Chaotic, we got one with them. And yeah, we just that's what I enjoy doing, playing flag football, playing sports. That's what I do. We got to keep that love alive while we out in the real world now, right?
Man, absolutely. And to our viewers, we already got one comment in, but if you're on Facebook, sign in to StreamYard so I can see your name when you comment. So I know who you are, or you can put your name in parentheses. I actually wore my Penn State stuff.
Of course.
Don't know. I ran track at Pennsylvania State University. I came out in 2006. I ran the 400 and 600 indoors. So I have a Big Ten gold medal for a relay, a Big Ten team championship gold, and then some individual placements in the finals of like the 400 and 600. So that was a long time ago. I came out in 2006. So I'm retired from football. My hamstrings are, they're approaching 40. But that's not what we're here today to talk about. We are here to start our show where we'll be talking to some badass women in the sports world and beyond. And we are starting with a heavy hitter here in Chicago. B, I'm actually going to have you introduce her because I loved it so much when you were saying it in our little pre-show. So please, would you introduce our guest?
Okay, so the one and only, the first Black female coach of the CPL, Chicago Public League, Coach Rhea. Come on in.
Hey, Sherry and B, how you doing?
What's going on, Coach? How you doing?
How are you?
I am well. Thank you so much for having me. I feel blessed to be y'all first guest. Thank you.
We are so blessed to have you. That's like hands down, like the first Black female coach. That's everything. We're glad that you could take the time to come on here and kind of tell us about your journey. So we are definitely happy to have you. Definitely blessed to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Congratulations on the new podcast. I can't wait to see what she said, because she said what she said.
Okay, period. She said what she said.
I love it. I love it. Where do I start?
I mean, you had a great article come out. I think it was the 31st, where you're talking about how you fell in love with football. from an old movie. And so let's start with that one.
So when I was little, there were two movies. One was Wildcats with Goldie Hawn, which everybody knows. And then the other was this movie called Quarterback Princess with Helen Hunt. I can barely find it. But she came from Canada, Minnesota, went to Minnesota high school, and she was still a girl, but she loved football and she could throw the ball. I can't throw the ball. And so she ended up being the starting quarterback, and then ended up being homecoming princess, so henceforth quarterback princess. It allowed her to be a bull. It allowed her to ball as a player, but still be a girl. And so I really love that. And I'm like, see, I can do it. I tried to talk my parents into letting me, and my dad was like, no. But then Goldie Hawn, she was a coach, and it's I laugh about it now because I'm like, I want to throw a nickel defense, but y'all don't even know what a nickel is. And the boys are like, what? I'm like, oh, let me explain. And so when I threw it in, they were like, really? I'm like, yeah, that's some Wildcat stuff. Y'all don't know about that yet. It's okay. You have to excuse me. I have a 4-year-old that doesn't understand that mommy is on a podcast.
That's fine. That's
fine.
So you're a mom and a coach,
right,
and doing it all.
Yeah. So I fell in love then.
Oh, there she is. Hey, girl. Hey, what's your name?
Hi.
Hi, Kai.
Hi.
Okay, go away.
She's cute.
No, go ask Uncle Derek.
So is that our next future quarterback star right there?
Right.
Yeah. She's something. They call her. The players really embrace her because she has to come to practice sometimes. Mm-hmm. She's the kid coach. So yeah, so hopefully she'll play. Hopefully, well, let me rephrase that. She's going to play. Hopefully she'll develop the love of the game as much as I do. When she turns 5 next year, she'll be able to start with flag. So I'm excited.
Really?
I'm excited for spring.
Awesome.
For her.
See, that's like one of those things where, when we were growing up, I mean, flag football didn't even exist.
Especially for girls, non-existent. Like
the fact that 5-year-old girls can start to play flag. Is it co-ed?
Yes, it's co-ed. So I'm excited. I'm excited to. I just pray that I'm not a coaching parent from the sidelines. So I'll have to take my coaching hat off and put my parent hat on and not say a word other than, good job, young lady. Good job, team. You guys do well, and not say anything about what you should be doing or what you didn't do right. So
they will not know what nickel defense is. Just FYI. so don't tell them that. They won't know.
Oh, these kids. Yeah. So I did that. I went to Thornridge, graduated from Thornridge. I was a football manager then. Then went ahead and went to Illinois State. Go Redbirds.
Redbirds. There you go.
And so came home after, working, getting married, having a kid. I still wanted to be involved. And a friend of mine, Will Ross, was like, hey, I'm with the Status of Country Club Hills. I want you to come out and be the manager because we need the help. And I'm like, all right. So I did that for them and started to like coaching a little bit. Like, you go out, you're not just sitting there. You're really understanding what the coaches are trying to tell the players. So they let me dabble in it a little bit. And then I got the opportunity to play football for the Chicago Force, the now defunct Chicago Force, and then play flag football with Reckless. And hell, the rest is history. I tore my ACL and then I started coaching. I started coaching youth football and fell in love. And through one of my best friends, he got a coaching position and they needed another assistant coach. And Coach Frierson interviewed me and he was like, well, you're yelling from the stands at games anyways, so I might as well put you on staff. And so that's what he did. And then this past year, I got the opportunity to be the greatest gift that the world could have gave me right now in life was to be selected as the head football coach at Dusable High School.
Wow.
So let's talk about that. Well, and we also have some comments popping up. My girl, Lana. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, Lana.
She said, right, this would have been so clutch for us women to have this opportunities growing up. But you know, you talk about the opportunity to coach, but per the article that I just read, it wasn't the players were the one that wanted you to coach. Can you talk about that?
So when I started with Dusable in 2019, I felt a bond with the players. I found out that my grandmother was class of 51 at school. So I told the boys, I'm like, look, I'm committed to this school because it's my grandmother's alma mater. So if you're committed and you guys come back, I'll come back. I won't go coach anywhere else. I'll come back. And they held me to my word. I wasn't expecting on being a head coach. I was just expecting to be the defensive coordinator again or wherever a new head coach would want me. But then the principal and the AD were like, yeah, no, we want you to be the head coach. And that's all she wrote.
You talk about what like mindset that put you in, because like I said, you are the first Black female head coach at a Chicago public school. So like, were there some, just tell me what the mindset was being the first, because I know that's huge.
When they offered it to me, I was like, are you guys sure? I don't want to do the kids a disservice. I was very nervous about it. I said, can you give me 24 hours? Let me check. So I reached out to my defensive coordinator when I was with the Force, Coach Ladowski, Adam, and he's the head coach of Tinley Park, well, Andrews. And then I talked to John Irving, who was the head coach and owner of the Stallions of Country Club Hills, as well as my best friend Derek, who I coached with. And they were like, well, you're committed. You're not going to do a horrible job. You're not going to allow yourself to do a horrible job. So you love the sport. You love kids. So go for it. And I did. And I'm very thankful that I did. Very thankful. It's a very hard job, but at the end of the day, it's very rewarding to know that I get to live my passion. So yeah, pretty excited.
That's awesome. So I saw that you have a few female players on the team too. I saw that you have maybe 4 or 5, and that's huge, right? On a male team, a male-dominated sport, right? Because we have the flag football for the females, but you don't see too many, female players playing high school football. So what's that like? Like, do the boys respect them? Are they got that dog in them? Tell me a little bit about that, because that really sparked my interest when I saw that.
Yeah. So in 2019, towards the middle of the season, a young lady who was having some issues with her temper, they wanted to kind of bring her in. So they said, well, here's an opportunity to play football. And she ended up coming out and being a beast once I channeled her energy. And so this year, it was I was asking everyone because we needed numbers. I'm like, don't you want to play football?
Right.
I sent texts out to parents. And the girls were like, no. And then after volleyball season, the girls just appeared. Like, I had one young lady the first day of school. Her mom was like, no, you guys really have a female coach? And they were like, yeah. And I talked to her and she was like, I want to play. She was like, Coach, I'm strong. I promise you. I box. I'm like, okay. She's a freshman. And she came out. Her enthusiasm, the guys respected her. And then after the end of volleyball season, I got 2 more girls who, and like, one just is a starter. She's so strong. She's, my left tackle. She's my defensive tackle on defense. And she's put a couple of the fellas on their back. And so they love it.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
They love it. One of the girls during the last game, and they're freshmen. So all 3 of my girls
I was supposed to say, and this
freshmen.
is a freshman playing varsity against varsity men in Chicago and putting them on their ass.
Oh my
God.
This
ain't just the girl being the punter or the kicker. This is a girl not even being like the wide receiver. So this is a great question from Shani.
Yeah.
What's your biggest hurdle in a male-dominated arena, man?
I guess respect, because so they don't automatically think that I know what I'm talking about. So you get some questions, and then when I give no, I played for coaches that have gold medals. So if I was taught by coaches that have gold medals, it is nothing that you who played alley ball, sandlot football that can tell me. I go to glacier clinics. I study the game. If you don't study, you can't tell me nothing. So
Period.
once you go through all of the rigmarole, then they're like, "Oh, okay, I got you, coach. You good? You good? Thank you. I know. Thanks."
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that and I coach high school basketball too, but whenever you're coaching against males or in a male, dominated sport, mostly males coach sports, right? Basketball, football, all these sports. It's always, do you know what you're talking about? It's always that question as, do you know the sport? Do you know? And, same as you said, I know my shit. You know what I mean? I go to clinics. I study this. I learned this. This is something I put my all into. So that's super dope. That's definitely super dope. How's the season going at Dusable right now? Like, are y'all?
I went in hoping and praying for just one win. I'm like, just give me one win, y'all. That's all I want. One win and no blowouts. And yeah, they didn't give it to me. It didn't happen. But I will say every game, every practice, they got better. They got better at the end of the season than they were the first day of the season. So I have to be thankful for those types of victories. I had players that had never played. Majority of my team had never played football before. Like they have never been hit. They never hit anybody. So to get them to get over that initial fear, to teach them how to properly tackle, to teach them what a route looks like, to teach them what you're viewing, to teach them how to properly throw a football, the mechanics. I'm really thankful for it. Really thankful.
How much of your team was underclassmen?
18.
18 out of 25.
Wow.
So you have only, and first of all, a varsity football team having 25 people total is tiny. So you're already playing at a disadvantage.
Yeah,
you're having freshmen, people brand new. That's, it's amazing.
6 seniors. Yeah, I only had 4 people on the team that had played previously for me.
4. Wow.
4. And those 3 were seniors. And that was my starting quarterback, my starting running back, and my center.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other 4th person that had played for me before, he was my tight end, outside linebacker. So those were my players that knew Coach is stern, but she knows her stuff. And they literally helped recruit everybody else. Like they were recruiting during the day at school, and I was on text messages and phone calls calling the parents. And at the beginning of the school year, we were like a week out, and I'm like, we don't have enough, you guys. We don't have enough. We have to get a miracle. We have to have enough players. And by the grace of God, like literally day one when school started, we had enough. But it's still, we didn't have all the paperwork in. So the first game was a double forfeit. And then the second game, I had the players, but they came late. Like 2 of the players came late, and I didn't think I could play them. And so they said we couldn't start the game without having 16 kids dressed. My AD went to the school to get their uniforms, to get their equipment, and downtown was like, well, no, I understand that, the head ref gave some time, but no, we're calling the game. So I got a forfeit for my second game. So by the time everyone had played 3 games, it was our first game. So
right.
It's a learning curve to be head coach. It's a lot of,
sure.
Oh my God, it's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah. I can imagine.
So let's talk about your plans for the off season, right? Because now you have a lot of people returning.
I have a lot of people returning.
Off season.
but it's heavy recruiting. I have to recruit coaches. I didn't. So this year I literally had myself, and then I had the head basketball coach to come and help do paperwork, and then I had someone that was on staff at the school to come in. Next year I'm having coaches that know the game, so that I'm not coaching everything. It's sort of like a disadvantage to the boys where, look, I'm about to let me coach you this way, and then my assistant coach can come in and reiterate what I just said, and you guys go over here, and then here, let me do this. I need to, I need to be able to spend some time like with my quarterback, because he'll be new. To give him more, I need coaches and recruiting, and then we start. I already started recruiting players and coaches, but we'll start lifting in January, February. But all the players have been given a task. Most of them play basketball, so they'll stay in shape, but everyone's been given task of lifting. So yeah, we'll see. I told them if they better come in stronger in February when we do our first day. Then they left in, and coach is gonna work out too. So if I do more push-ups than you, it's a problem. It's a problem.
That should get them going.
Oh, it does. It does. Yeah.
Can you tell me what your most memorable game of the season was and why?
So we played, was it Taft? No, not Taft, Tilden. We played Tilden at Gately on a Thursday, 4:00 game. And we held them to 0. We couldn't score. I don't know. We just could not score, but we kept them from scoring the entire game until the last 2 minutes of the game. And I just remember how I was just proud of them. And I was like, you guys, I'm proud of you guys. Even though we lost in the last 2 minutes. Yes, it was a blown coverage, but it happens. You tried. You follow directions for the most part. Not necessarily on offense, but on defense, you follow directions. And we were able to stop them. And so that was for me, that was my most memorable game. They would say, Coach, when we scored 6 in one game and 21 in another game, they would say it's the high points. I would say it was that defensive stop where we kept our opponent to 6 points.
You're a defensive coach as well. I mean, you started. So defense is your baby. I get it.
Yeah, defense is everything. Defense is also
right. Yeah,
I feel you there. I love stopping people. Offense is the glory, but defense is where the heart is. I've always.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Defense definitely wins games. So
absolutely. Defense keeps you in games. You know what I mean? Like, and that's really the main. If you have a solid defense, you're always going to be somewhere in it, right? I mean, even if your offense can't do shit, like your defense isn't, giving up a touchdown every 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, I can honestly say that in the midst of everything, I forgot to punt until the third game. I'm like, why did I forget to punt? I'm like, how did I forget about punting? I said,
first season jitters, man.
I said, I forgot. I didn't think we had a long snapper. You guys barely snap the ball regularly. So I'm like, I just didn't think about it. I'm like, I said, darn it. I put us at a disadvantage. So I took the L and told the fellas, I'm like, Coach is sorry. Now we have to learn something new. And they're like, why didn't we do this then? I said, because I forget. I told y'all I'm doing too much. Sorry. And so, yeah, it's good. It's good now.
That's awesome. Let's see what we got here. Line of girls who play D. Yeah, defense is where the heart is.
So, you were talking about like the long snapper. I mean, that's a very hard skill. What would you say is the position that has the biggest learning curve, especially for a high schooler?
Quarterback.
Yes.
It's the quarterback. Everybody thinks that they can be the quarterback. Quarterback is more than just throwing a ball. And just because you can throw a ball without pads doesn't mean you're going to be able to throw a ball with a helmet and shoulder pads on. It's
with linemen coming at you, and
Right.
blockers, and all
It's
kind of things.
And they don't
It's
always
about
come
the
at you where they're
timing.
supposed to. You might get a blitz. You might have
Exactly.
Yeah, it's timing, it's reading, it's understanding your
Yeah.
first your succession of looks, what you can and can't do. If you're seeing, the left side is blitzing, and I may have not known the left side was gonna blitz, and I call a play running to the left, you better check, and call something else way, and know you gotta move your fullback or check your tight end to know that, hey, you gotta get him because he's coming from me to give me enough time to roll out and do what I gotta do. So yeah,
Yeah, quarterbacking.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Mel wanted to know how many years have you been coaching? Because I know it's been a few, but what's your total amount of time coaching?
5. I started youth football. I was an assistant varsity coach on the youth level, and then I became the varsity head coach for the youth program, the Hurricanes of Bridgeport, for 2 years until I had to dissolve that because I was pregnant and it was not a good pregnancy with this 4-year-old. So I couldn't coach, and the program just couldn't sustain without me being the head and coming to practice every day. So yeah, 5 years.
And what advice, we know a lot of people within the Chicago football community, a lot of people that either coach now, but people that are interested in coaching, whether they're male or female, depending on their background. What advice would you give someone that wants to go into football coaching? Like, where should they start?
First, start with USA football. Learn some fundamental stuff. They have some great classes. Then you can decide what level your temperament is best for. The day of the old age, high school coaches, like when I was growing up, the high school coach, he was a cusser. Like Coach Tarala, Coach Macon did cuss, but Coach Tarala at Thornridge, he cussed. Coach Lance, I mean, these guys was really, really intense. You can't do that now because there's things called hate speech and you bullying and that, the stuff that went on in old school football, you can't do anymore. So you have to know that you gotta talk differently to the guys and try to empower the team and try to encourage the team and connect the team in different manners than what you were coached, and it's different for high school than youth, the youth league. So when you know what temperament you're better for, you just go volunteer first. My AD will tell you, I never once asked how much I was getting paid. She told me when I was going to get paid, and I said, "Oh, I did. I am supposed to get paid, aren't I?" Oh, okay. Thanks.
This is also a job. I'm not just doing it.
Right.
This is also a job. That's a plus, right?
Yeah, but when you're doing something that you love, you forget. You kind of forget, especially with CPS, they pay you after the season, so you're not looking for it like every 2 weeks. So you out of sight, out of mind. So
you
yeah,
really forget. So JB
Yes.
has a great question for you right here on the screen, as far as recruiting being difficult because your school is known for basketball more than football.
Yeah.
Recruiting is very difficult. So Dusable, the school itself, is the building, and the athletics program is the building's athletic program because the building is a national landmark and can never close. There are 2 smaller schools inside the building. It's a William Daniel Hale Medical Preparatory and a Bronzeville Scholastic Institute. Both schools are selective enrollment. They're not neighborhood schools. So it has very low enrollment. The history of Dusable was originally built as an overflow for Phillips. And so with all the projects there, at a given time, Dusable can hold 3,500 students. It barely has 700 students, probably closer to 500 students in the entire building.
Wow.
So in knowing that it's hard to get kids. So Dusable didn't have a football program for quite a few years. Then their head basketball coach, who was their basketball coach for some years, left the school. And so 2019 was rebuilding. They're still do pretty well in basketball, but the numbers aren't really there to still come to the school because they either can't get in because of grades or they can't get in because of their behavior. So being a two schools that are selective enrollment, they can accept a student that may have not made the grades, but you can't be a behavioral issue in grammar school.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I see has been the issue with recruitment. But heck, the counselors have me going to the recruiting visits with them, and going to youth programs and trying. So I would try everybody. Send
And
your
that's
kids.
crazy too, because the kids who kind of have the behavioral issues, they're usually the best athletes because they got so much pent up rage. And if they can turn it into something positive, that's kind of where that comes in and helps these sports programs. But
Yeah,
they can't get into the school.
I hated sitting
tough.
still in
It's
school.
tough.
Yeah, you have so much energy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's a little difference. If we can get you to where you're focused. So like one of my seniors was a behavioral issue at the school. And so they had tried to get him to play before, and he just said no. Well, finally this year he played, and he was a beast.
Mhm.
I would literally have to come to school at least once a week to just come and look at
Them
him
in line. Yeah.
because he would go off. And I would have to remind him, what is our code of conduct? Even if you don't feel respected, you shut up. At any adult, I don't care. You shut up, because the last person you can be scared of your mama, but you better be real scared of your coach. You don't want to see me. Don't want to see me.
I feel that. Yeah,
So-
I know. My coach had that same fear in me. I'd get out of line in school, and they'd be like, "Go grab the basketball, coach," and I'd straighten right up.
My high school coach
I know.
was a legend, and all he had to say was "young lady"
See?
or "young man," and he had if he did the one finger, you were in trouble. If he was like, "Come here," with two, you're like, "Oh shit!" Like
what time it was.
Yeah, he took no nonsense whatsoever. Like, kids would walk down the hall of the high school, their hats on, whatever. They'd see Westfield, like, oh shit, take your hat off. Do this. Like, man, the coaches, I know how that goes with that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't expecting me to come after the season, but I still have to do inventory and sanitizing all sorts of stuff. And I turned that corner. They were in the hallway doing stuff they weren't supposed to. And it was one of the players' back was towards me. Everybody just turned. It was like, oh, that's coach. Shut up. And I just looked at some, So this is what y'all do when you're not in season? Y'all just roam the hallways? Y'all ain't got nowhere to go? Really? Oh, no, coach, this our lunch. We going out the building. But I heard y'all when I came in the door. Is that what I'm supposed to hear? They were like, no, we sorry, coach. And they haven't had any more issues. I don't
Get them together. I love that.
Man, you have some respect. What is your secret to having the respect of the kids, right? I mean, there's so many adults like working in schools, teachers that kids don't necessarily have that. What is your secret? Is it just because you care? What is it? Do you do more push-ups than them? Do you make them do push-ups?
It's a genuine love and desire and belief in them. But it's a stern boundary of what I will not accept. And it's accountability. I hold you accountable. You hold me accountable. So like one of the main things that really, the thing was, don't be late to practice. Get here. So I had to be late for work. Twice. And so it was a lap a minute. But for coach, it's, when we were indoors, it was, goalpost to goalpost. But when we outside, it's sideline to sideline. I was like 12 minutes late through the whole, warm up through the whole practice. I'm running. I stopped to do that, but I went back to running. They're like, coach, you don't have to run. I said, yes, I do. No one is over accountability. These are our team rules. Everyone, including your coach, has to follow them. And I think because I am that person for them like that, then I get their respect. So Yeah. And I told him, you know what? Having a female coach, you have a coach, you have a mother, and a big sister. Your big sister, yeah, I'm here as your sounding board. Your coach, I'm here to teach you. But as your mama, I'm going to protect you. But when you mess up, you got the wrath of your mama 2 times fold. So you don't want to see that. And
Man.
so
Yeah.
they like
Yeah.
that.
Can you tell me a little bit about the work life, personal life, mom life, spouse, all that balance? Because I just know it's a lot. Being a head coach and you're the only coach, you don't have any other coaches with you. You're a mom. You got your spot. Can you tell me how you balance all of that? Because it's a lot.
I am thankful. I am thankful for my village. I am very thankful for my village. My cousins, my sister, my daughter's godmothers, godfathers, they pick up, they watch, keep her during the season, and in the summer she comes unless it's raining. So I'm thankful that the school allows that. But yeah, I'm an event planner. So
you do it all. What don't you do?
Man, you are
well, that's my job. So yeah, so my 9 to 5 is I am the operations manager for an event marketing company called Private Events. We do some bigger things, and then I'm the administrator for a Black Women Lawyers Association. So luckily that is more computer work. So it's me sitting doing computer work, but planning. It can get very, very crazy, but I don't know how I did it. I'm so thankful that it's over for at least a couple weeks.
First season down in the book.
A couple weeks, just a couple weeks. And I'm thankful that I'm able to
38-hour days, someone said.
Man, yes, man.
Yeah.
Right.
40 hours, man.
I do.
Yeah, this was a question that came in. You talked about your school having the eligibility requirements. Can you address this commenter?
Okay, so the requirements are, so in CPS, which differs from suburban schools, are kids they choose what high schools they want to go to. They're automatically majority put in their neighborhood school, but they don't have to enroll in those. For the selective enrollment schools, you have to do an application, which I believe they're doing those now, and then they take a selective enrollment exam. On your selection sheet, you would have to choose Bronzeville Scholastic Institute, which is an international baccalaureate school, which is really, really amazing. That if you're a really smart kid, you would want to go to a school like that, so that when you graduate high school, you have the opportunity to graduate with an associate's degree. Or if you're interested in the medical field, to go to William Daniel Hale to learn. You're learning your CPR, you're getting your prerequisites to be a nurse, a doctor, veterinarian, a CNA. If you have interest. So it's those types of schools. The principals, they're pretty cool ladies. Dr. Maselli and Dr. Starks. If you really want to come to the school and you don't necessarily have the grades, but you can show that, hey, in 8th grade, even if it was your last quarter, you showed that there was some improvement from all of the BS you did at the beginning, they may be willing to take a chance on you with some letters of recommendations. So I haven't gotten any pushback other than, it was a student. I would have loved to have had him, but he just had a long history of excessive behavioral issues, like fighting a teacher. Because it's a small school, we can't have those kind of behavioral issues.
Yeah.
But look, hey, if you not like that, come on, we want you.
Nice.
We want you.
It's crazy. Like, I'm from Ann Arbor, Michigan, so I just went to our public high school. There was never any question. B, where are you from?
I'm from Round Lake, near Six Flags, Gurney, a north suburb.
Nice. So you just went to your local school,
I just went to a public school too. Yeah.
I can't imagine like being in middle school and thinking about where I'm going to go to high school, like what I want to do, like
Like,
what
to have an
direction.
option
That
is crazy to me. To have an option, it's just
it-
crazy.
it's very
CPS
overwhelming.
is
Yeah.
very, you have, and you do it your 7th grade year. So I went to
Seventh
Thornridge, a
grade, so
suburban
you're
school.
what, 12 years old?
So yeah, so in 7th grade,
Don't do that, Shani.
in 7th grade, you have testing. You take, you know, your state test, and then it's like 900 points you get for everything. And it used, I believe this year or last year, they no longer gave you points for your standardized testing. So, but it used to be you get up to 300 points for your standard testing. You get 300 points, up to 300 points for your final grade to 7th grade. And then you get up to 300 points for for your selective enrollment exam, so that you're understanding how CPS is.
Man, that is
The top 3 schools like Jones, Walter Payton, Whitney Young,
when you're young. Mm-hmm.
those kids have 900s, 905s, 895, 896 is their mean of getting
Wow.
it, 897.
Wow.
So it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. So people normally get like, oh, well, I didn't get in there, so I'm not going to even think about anything else. And because they're smaller schools, people don't even think about those schools necessarily where I want to send my kid,
Mhm.
because, you know, it is 49th and Wabash. And you think of the badness in the area, but the badness in the area doesn't affect the school. It's right off of State Street. Like, your kid gets
Mhm.
off the bus on State Street and walks through the school to get to the front door. We haven't had any shootings, no stabbings, no big old brawls or anything. Look, y'all see me knocking on wood because
Right.
I'm the same way. All that, Shani. Whew.
we haven't had that. So I, as a parent, if my kid was on a one bus route to the school, or wanting my kid who really needs that extra attention, who would get lost in a neighborhood school, I would send them to a small school like Dusable, one of those 2 schools.
Nice. Well, this is a recruiting video right now.
Right.
I know. Shani and I have talked. Her son is in that age where she's thinking of, where do I send him to high school, and I'm like, man. But to lighten the mood up a little bit, though, I did want to ask you about one of my favorite terms. I'm sure B's heard me say this. Can you tell me your best incidences of people mansplaining football to you?
Oh yeah, the mansplains.
The mansplainers.
How did you handle it?
Somebody said, who was it? Oh, so my go-to is a 4-3 cover 2. It's just my go-to because you really don't have players that understand much, so you got some stuff, and a guy goes, "What is that? A cover 0?" And I said, "Do you see 2 people back there? Do you see those 2 people back there? I don't run no, sir. I'm not in man. No, I run zone for what do you?" I'm like, can you not yell from the stands what to do? Because what you telling him to do, that's not his coverage. I need you to not. No, don't talk to. I understand that's your son, but he got to listen to me, not you. Please don't listen to your daddy because he don't know.
Your daddy gonna have you on the bench. Your daddy gonna have you on the bench.
Your daddy gonna have you getting beat because your daddy going to put you in the wrong position.
Oh my God. Oh, that, and if somebody come and give me a play from Madden one more again.
But it worked in Madden.
Nothing Madden plays.
Christian McCaffrey scored. It's a go-to.
Yeah, but that ain't no route, and I don't know what you running in Madden. I don't play Madden. This is real life. You run something like that, you liable to get hurt. Don't bring me to Madden plays. Don't. So yeah, those are my.
I didn't even think about Madden.
Right. I had another question. I wanted to circle back. You said you played for the Chicago Force. How did playing inspire you as far as coaching, and what did you take from that that you still carry on with you in coaching? What position did you play? Can you tell us a little bit about your time playing?
I played defensive tackle with and I got to be secondary for the O-line. And so the Chicago Force was coached by Coach John Konecki, who is the head coach of Creed Money, who has, state titles under him, but he also was the women's head coach for Team USA and brought back gold medals twice. I played, and his philosophy of everyone has a place on the team. Everyone is not a starter. Hell, I wasn't a starter, but being secondary, your job is to make the A team better. So you can't go half-ass. If you go half-ass, they don't get better, and which means you don't get better, which means you will never get to be team A, right? So you learning that philosophy. He was a stickler on fundamentals. Coach Lou, Coach, rest in peace, Coach Matt. It was about fundamentals. To take someone who had never played football before, right? And we're all grown ass women, never played. To take them from there to championship caliber team, it had me in awe. The amount of information that you learn while playing football, it blew my mind. And so I knew that was something that I was definitely wanting to be able to do. And so I take from them the things that I learned about fundamentals, the things I learned about everybody inclusive, the things that I didn't like Coach Connect. He just hates to substitute people. He just absolutely hates to substitute. But I take that because I remember feeling like, give somebody else a rest, give somebody a chance. So I make sure everybody plays. Even I got like 2 guys that look like they belong in the 5th grade. I make sure they play. I make sure they play. And I make sure that they feel wanted and needed on a team. Because there is a place for everyone. Y'all remember, did y'all ever see the movie Lucas with Corey Haim? Oh my God. Corey Haim was like, he was a little guy, but he was a nerd. He was into insects and stuff. And he wanted to join a football team because he really liked a new girl, a new cheerleader. And he tried out for the football team. They let him on and he knew nothing. He knew nothing, but he went in once and, did really well. He got hurt, but he did really well. But it was that, like, there's a place for everybody on the team. You show your heart. Rudy, you show your heart.
I was going to say that reminds me of Rudy. I have seen Rudy. Rudy's a classic, okay?
Yeah, you show your heart every day at practice. You'll gain respect. You'll get better, and people around you will get better. You'll get your turn. So, yeah.
That's dope.
Nice.
That's dope.
I love it.
I have one more question.
Okay.
Quick question.
Get it.
What advice can you give young women, trying to break into a male-dominated field, young Black women especially, who aspired, to be a football head coach or any other male-dominated field?
Don't take no for an answer. Believe in yourself first. Learn your craft, and an opportunity will arise. Go for it. Like, there's high schools all over that look for coaches. Even if you're not the head coach, you're on a coaching staff. So you learn it, because there's a lot of, I wouldn't advise like never being a head coach no, I wouldn't advise what I did. I wouldn't, because oh my God, it's a lot of paperwork.
Or at least being up under a head coach and learning the way of,
learning something. Hey, I'm looking for coaches. I know Coach DeWalt from and Coach Collins. So Coach Collins, Reggie Collins, he also does flag football. But
shout out Reggie, shout out Dedrick. Shout out, those are boys.
See, yeah. So he's at Lincoln Park, if I'm not mistaken, and he's looking for assistant coaches. And D Wall, who also was one of the coaches for flag football, he's at Lane Tech. So he looks for coaches. So there's opportunities. Go for it. Go for it.
And
I'm
the
here to
thing
watch.
that,
Let's go.
I feel like, Reggie and Dedrick have posted in our flag group, and they put specifically women are encouraged to apply. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a new
They
day.
tried to get me. They were
I
like,
agree.
come on, coach.
Yeah.
I said, y'all too far for me. I have to stay on the south side. I have a baby. I
Yeah.
can't come that far anymore. And they're like, come on. No, I can't. I'm sorry. So when I became, they reached down there. It's like, so you told us no, and you're gonna be at Dusable. I said, it's on the south side. I told you.
Right.
So they were
But
like,
you're running your own show though. You're the head coach over there. You're not no assistant coach, okay?
yeah, but it didn't matter to me. It still doesn't. So we thought that I was the first woman coach, period.
Mhm.
But then we found out that there was another woman. They called her mom at Clemente in like the early 2000s. And so
Wow.
mom started out she was just put on over because she helped with, she was a softball coach, I believe. And they needed a sophomore coach. And so she started coaching sophomore. And then after 3 years, the varsity coach, something happened to the varsity coach and they made her varsity coach half season. And so she stayed on for another 2 years. When learning about her, I was like, wow, okay, I'm not the first woman, but maybe I can be the first woman to have a state playoff team to win a game. And so we got to build towards that.
Something to
So
build
Either
for.
way, we're making history.
Exactly.
3
We had
years.
another
3 years,
question
I'll
that
see
popped
y'all
up.
there.
3 years. I hear you. The futurist female. That's one of my favorite phrases right now. Okay.
And this
All
question
right.
goes right into it because it's saying anyone who says girls are more emotional than boys has clearly never coached boys. I feel like my sister could have written this question because she coaches youth sports. How do you handle all their emotions and egos?
I roll my eyes. And say, you off your period yet? You sure? You off your period?
To the boys and the girls, huh?
Yeah. And they were like, coach, for real? Yeah, for real. Because I don't understand. I need you to calm down. And when you're ready to regroup, come on back and we can do this. Remind them that, hey, you don't give up.
Oh,
you
yeah, you
don't
got to
give
deal
up.
with male puberty. Oh,
If I had to listen to a woman, I have told them, look, I don't care nothing about your little wee-wees, gentlemen. You're supposed to have a cup. You don't want to wear one? Don't come to me game day talking about, coach, I need a cup, my thing. I don't care. I don't care.
So I was telling my sister about, and that actually is my sister that asked that question. So my sister Jody, she teaches in a middle school and she coaches soccer and track, boys and girls. And I told her, she was like, well, ask her about like, times the boys have been really weird. I'm like, well, they're high schoolers, they're not middle schoolers. And I think after a solid 60 seconds of laughing, she was like, high school boys are the same as eighth. So besides the cups, what are the weird things that popped up about dealing with teenage boys that you just really don't want to deal with?
No,
it
was
face.
The cups. Everything else, they're funny because they'll stop mid practice and look at some girls, and I'm like, excuse me, booty gonna be there forever. I said, trust me, when y'all get older, it's better. Or they come to practice all giddy one day. I mean, everything was funny. I'm like, y'all got some, didn't you? Y'all got some. And they like, coach. I said, I'm like, I said what I said.
You know when you see it.
I'm like, shake it off. This practice, y'all ain't this giddy. Shake it off. And make sure, don't y'all be getting none the day before my damn game because I need your legs.
Right, we need the legs, okay?
I need your legs. For real, you gonna just put us on blast like that? I'm like, yeah. Make sure y'all go to that room in them because ain't nobody having no kids. Don't do it. Don't do it.
That's where the mom come in too, right?
Yeah. So
all in one.
Those are the awkward moments where you just be like, Only boys. Only boys. And when the girls came on staff on board, I had the whole group. I said, okay, I'm about to tell y'all this now. Yes, we have girls. No one dates each other on this team. I said, CPS, it's everybody is whatever you are, your sexual preference. I don't care. I respect you all. No one dates each other on this team. You are all brother and sisters. You are teammates. When I say nobody, I mean nobody. No boy to boy, no girl to girl, no boy to girl. Do y'all understand? Yes, coach. I said, no, I'm dead serious. You do not shit where you lay. Do you understand me?
Oh, true.
And they were like, what does that mean? I said, when you get older, don't do nobody that you work with. Because if it go left, then you messed up at work. I'm teaching you a life lesson. And they're like,
yeah. And you got to
okay.
see him every day. Then they didn't broke up, and now you don't want to block for me. Now we got a problem.
Right.
Life lessons.
The whole causes all kind of issues. We don't need it. I definitely
Well, Coach K, I appreciate you so much coming here. I'm sure you saw the comments. So many people. Honestly, you have so many fans in Chicago. Not even just. I mean, my sister's in Colorado. She's a fan.
Sister, thank you.
Even when promoting this, everybody's like, "Oh, Coach K, she's good people. Coach K, Coach K."
Yeah.
So everybody's a fan.
Yeah, it's like even if they didn't watch it today, maybe they'll watch it tomorrow. They've read your article. They share your article. I've seen that article about you shared so many times on Facebook within the football community. We all, honestly, we wish you so much success. If you need to find some coaches, hit us up. We'll put it in our Chicago football community. We'll find you the good ones. And honestly, we look forward to having you back. I mean,
anytime, y'all.
Look, man, I love talking to you. So, but yeah, we will be keeping track of you and see how you go. So I just want to thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
definitely appreciate you and wish the best.
Look, D, if I lose some weight, which they told me I got to over the season, I might have to come out of retirement for flag football. I might have to do that. I'm going to national. I got sports. You got my cousin. Winning national.
You know what? I want Joey to bring an over 35 co-ed league, so us grown folk can just have a little bit of fun.
Don't do that. We all grown.
You play with the kids.
Oh, it's totally different. Like I need 35. I need 40. Like Thriller. I don't know if y'all remember Thriller. Thriller was one of the best quarterbacks. Thriller came out and helped me with my quarterback one day, and just his 20 minutes improved his 20 minutes with my quarterback improved my quarterback. 20 minutes. He took 20 minutes out of his day to come and holler at me. So I was very thankful of my time playing flag football. I was very, very thankful. People don't understand.
Just remember, we're here for you to help you. If you need coaching,
if
you have specific, I don't think I can help you with the long snapper, but I'm sure we have people. I'm a pretty good punter, though, so I can give a good solid 30, 40 yards of my punting. So
I'm gonna hold you to it, Sherry. And B,
I have
Listen, we got you.
A field goal in an NFL stadium. Fun fact. So I can do a little kicking for you.
All right. Thank you. Because that's my next thing. Thank you guys so much. I have a great show. Congratulations on She Said What She Said. I'll be watching.
Thank you so much. Thank you. See ya.
Oh man. Amazing.
Wow.
I just love seeing women doing incredible things, and she is so sweet. But then when she puts that coach voice, you're like, oh,
right. It's like a total switch, a total 180. Like sweet to coach to mom to coach. I love it.
Yes. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then we will be back with a few more. We're not doing the controlling. Come on, T-Nick.
Right, what's going on? Are we back
Nick's
already?
Put the commercial on. We're back.
Where we at?
Maybe we don't have a commercial break.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine. You know what?
Tranquility, Trey Bella. Alleviate the stress of your day. A fresh approach to nail care service at the top of the pampering scale. Awaken your senses with no chemical smells. Relax, we're at your service with professional, personalized treatments. Enjoy a manicure or pedicure tailored to you. Trey Bella Nail Spa, 10349 South Halsted in Chicago. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Trey Bella Nail Spa or book at TreyBellaNailSpa.com.
And we are back. Let me just tell you, first of all, looking at a commercial, I, in the middle of redoing my pedicure. So for one of my Spartan races earlier this summer, I got a big bruise on my toe. Toenail bruises is coming. It is B when I say I need that pedicure.
Do you still have your toenail? Because every
I
time I get
do.
a bruise, I lose the toenail. That's just like the story of being an athlete. My whole
I
life.
was
Basketball, football.
so
I'm constantly losing
scared
toenails.
that I was going to lose it. And I was like, oh my God. But no, I still have my toenail. The toenail is still alive. I will quickly do my pedicure. But so B, one of the things that, you know, we didn't talk about on here, but there's a new sport in Chicago high school. They have flag football for women. Right?
Yes, yes, they do. Yes.
Like, just thinking of what could have been if we had had that opportunity. I mean, even the 5-year-old. We're not even talking about the 5-year-olds playing flag because that is like
it's a beautiful thing,
adorable.
man. Yeah,
But like, if flag football was offered when you were in high school, would you have played?
absolutely. I
'Cause
don't
you
know
did-
what
you did
season I would have played.
basketball.
I
Well,
was
what
a
other sports did you do?
athlete. I did volleyball, basketball, and track.
Okay.
But if it was doing track season, I was giving up track for sure. For
Man,
sure.
no. We don't talk track.
Listen, y'all can have that track. Y'all can have that running in that circle. If flag football was that season, whatever, y'all can have it. I hated track, but it was actually my best sport.
Right, I was gonna say, weren't you pretty good?
We'll talk about that another day. Whatever.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, flag football, I would have definitely played. Now, if it was during basketball season, we would have had an issue.
Right.
No,
Right.
basketball is where my heart is. But definitely would have played. Flag football is getting big. It's getting huge.
Major.
Just in the past year or two, flag football, even just like with me traveling and seeing so many girls playing and seeing girl quarterbacks and girls playing since they're young, like just the fact that they even, have that for 5-year-olds, like you said, that's huge. And the women are good. They're getting really, really good. They're learning the game. Like Coach K said, like the women, they can play all positions, quarterback, on the line, DB, receiver, all that. So it's getting big. I really wish, like Brandon, coach, shout out to my boo Brandon. Okay. He coached at Saragood and he's watching downstairs, right? He coached at Saragood and I got a chance to see them play, and the girls are raw, but they want it. Like with some, over time, the girls in Chicago could be really, really good because they're skilled, they're athletic. They actually don't have the skill, but they have the athleticism.
Right. Well, I mean, I think of when, a little bit before your time, when we first got the women's flag league in Chicago, myself and Emma, we started the first team that won the first couple of championships. No big deal. But yeah, it was rough because
what team was that?
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero. I've heard of Sub-Zero. That was before my time. I heard about Sub-Zero
during a really cold winter. Emma, Kristen, and I were talking about the team names, and I'm like, we gotta do something about this damn cold, because so we called it Sub-Zero, and that's actually where my nickname Snow Bunny came in, because I was like, I wanted a winter nickname. But just like even that first season of like learning how, because we never had a line, right? Like our co-ed doesn't have a line. So having women a line, having black ice, yes, having
black ice, definitely heard of black ice.
Yep. I got my girl Sunny. She played with me way back in the day of Black Panthers. she could throw. But I mean, it was like, yes, you
Sunny
had
played
to.
with us a little bit. She came back for like a season
Yeah.
and played with
And
Joe
she's
Valaja.
good.
She is.
She's a
She's got an arm.
phenomenal quarterback. Yeah, it was but there was, we look at where that team was not that many years ago and where women's flag is now. I mean, y'all are winning national championships. Y'all are doing big things. Like, there is so many different it's a I'm not
Brandon
bringing
says he misses
Sub-Zero back.
Sub-Zero.
If someone wants
Bring
to
it
use the
back.
logo,
We do. We need more
look,
women's team. Bring
look,
Black Ice back. Bring Sub-Zero
oh
back.
my God,
Bring them all back.
man. Maybe I'll just be the kicker. I used to play safety. No, oh my Lord. But
Safety's hard.
It
Safety's
is.
one of the hardest. You got to be super disciplined, and everybody ain't got that. Everybody
That's why
ain't
I
got
did
that.
it. Yeah.
Safety's definitely hard, even if you have the athleticism.
You have to be able to read the offense and read what's going on. And that's one thing that helped me a lot playing defense was understanding offense and understanding what the offense is trying to do in route combinations. And so that helped me play defense. Okay, bring back Black Ice.
Bring them back. Bring them both back.
Look, might take me a long time to bring back Sub-Zero. Someone else could use the name. I'll let you. But yeah, it's just the opportunities that younger women are having.
Yeah, definitely. Flag football. It definitely brings back that kind of love that I had for basketball. You know what I mean? I didn't think that there was anything that I could, love as much as basketball, but flag football is definitely my next best thing. Like I still play basketball here and there, but I'm all
you do. Tomorrow night playoffs.
I'm like,
playoffs.
Tomorrow night for the championship, man. It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game too. But yeah, flag football is like, I'm like, oh, I got a flag game. Okay, basketball, you can wait. But yeah, it's definitely. I also am interested in like thinking of coaching flag football too.
Yeah,
it's just
like high school
for CPS or something like that. Because I just feel like there's so much I could teach the girls and learn from the girls, and just like I feel like it would be a good opportunity. I just feel like it would be a good way to give back. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely the next season. When they get more teams and look for more coaches. I definitely want to see if I could get involved in that, because I would love to help them out.
Yeah, because I think right now it's pretty much only men coaching them, which is look.
Brandon actually had a woman coach with him, but I think she was one of few. Yeah, and like even like you said, flag football is a newer thing, so there's not many women that are already in the the school system that kind of knows flag football.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's scarce for the women, but hopefully we can change that.
I think you should coach against Brandon and kick his ass.
Yeah, there's a lot of ass kicking going on in this house, and I just want to say I'm not the one losing. So
we know this.
Sorry, babe.
Man, he just sitting downstairs like, she's right though. What do you coach high school or do you coach club basketball?
So I was doing a little bit of both. I was coaching club, like AAU is what basketball. And then I was coaching at Parker, and it's in Lincoln Park. And it's a private school, so different kind of kids. It's totally different from the CPS kids, like Coach K was talking about. You have different issues. But in a nutshell, I don't really know if coaching basketball is for me. And I work a regular 8 to 5. So with my schedule and, getting back and forth, coming from work, I'm downtown, and, I don't drive into work. It was tough. And just, the kids at Parker, like I said, like it's a private school. It's probably the tuition's like $40K for a kid. So you're dealing with different kind of kids and different kind of parents. And that just really wasn't for me. So I don't know about coaching basketball. I would rather ref during the basketball season.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. I did it for 3 years, and then I decided to step down so I could ref during the basketball season.
Okay. So, yeah, I think you'd be a great flag coach.
Thanks,
so Shit, maybe get me
For
up
what
there.
it's worth,
Yeah.
man. Come on.
Stretch a bit. Get my whistle. Yeah, no, and it's like I've never hey, I don't know who this is, but hey,
Hey,
if you're
y'all.
on
Hey.
Facebook, sign to StreamYard or just put your name in parentheses so I know who you are.
Brandon says they actually have a good amount of head coaches for flag football for the women. So
Okay.
let's go.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, I saw that. Okay. Oh, that's
more than we thought, right?
Good. I love it.
Hey, Emma.
Love to see it. Emma. That's my love. Yeah, you know, and that's one of the things too, as far as coaching. Like, I never even thought about coaching because I work a 9 to 5. Like, I'm just not going to be able to get
tough.
out. It is, yeah.
Those times because they're out of school at 3:30. You still got an hour and a half of your day to work, and that's when practice starts. So it's definitely
we can take over. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's my sister, like I said, she's a coach, middle school soccer and track. The funny thing is my sister's an equestrian, so she does horseback ride and she still competes. She's actually incredibly talented. She jumps over stuff she does and so she does this cross country thing where the horse is like running down through the woods and jumping over shit. So, but she coaches the sports that I played of the track and soccer. But you know, she's asked me for a few pointers here and there, but she does a pretty good job. I love to hear her talk about it now.
Gotcha.
It's like,
yeah. You recently did a competition. Tell me about that.
Oh,
I
did.
Tell us about that. Go ahead.
Okay. So I did some Spartan races this year. I did one back in 2019. Had a lot of fun. The pandemic hit, so didn't do any last year. So I did 3 of them this year of their different distances. So the Spartan race is the obstacle race, the hardest obstacle race, where you're running and then you're doing obstacles. And they can be very challenging. If you miss an obstacle, you have to do 30 burpees. So
when you say miss an obstacle, what does that mean? Like you don't accomplish it, or
if you have one chance and you fuck up, you have to do 30
you only get
burpees.
one chance?
Yeah, some of them you have more than one chance, but some of them one and done. So
Gotcha.
like if you're doing the monkey bars and you miss a grip and you fall,
30 burpees.
30.
Ciao. And is it timed?
Yeah, so I run an age group. So there's like elite people, and then there's age group, and then there's open. So I run an age group, so it's a little bit more competitive. And then so my last race was a sprint distance. So it was a 5K, 3.5 miles with 20 obstacles. And I got 5th in my age group. It took me a little bit under an hour to do. Only missed one obstacle. So
okay.
So climbing. And as I was telling Blake, like the damn spear throw, like you have to basically throw a javelin into a thing. And I'm like, I can't practice that. I'm not gonna bring my trident down.
I was just gonna ask you, what is the training like? Like do you know the obstacles that you're gonna do ahead of time and you're training for those specific obstacles? Like how does that work?
Yeah, so they have the standard obstacles that they choose from, especially sprint. You see the same ones. I have a great training partner, Shep. He owns a fitness studio in Chicago, and he's the one that got me into these races. So I do a lot of distance running, a lot of lifting, but I also do a lot of, like, people look at me like I'm crazy. Like I'll run like a mile or half a mile in the gym, and then I'll do a circuit, and then I'll run, you know. So I get myself used to doing this and this and this. So you're not just running. I mean, I'll run, you know, 7, 8, 10 miles at a time. But other times I'll run, do some shit, do some burpees, jump on some stuff. I'll show you some of my workouts. I write them on. You know, I used to be a personal trainer full time. I used to do some on the side. I didn't during COVID, but I would like to do some more again. But yeah, it's really just getting your body used to doing those short bursts of energy and then go back to running. The ones I did earlier, so I did that one in Dallas. The one I did in June, that was a 7-mile race with 25 obstacles. And then in September, I did one in Indiana that was 13 miles and 35 obstacles. 35. That one was too many.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, so it gives me something though to do, as in like I can't play football anymore. I had a really bad concussion 4 years ago. I'm medically really not supposed to play football. So it gives me something else to do, something to train for.
Gotcha.
It's like it was a nice like accomplishment of like learning how the technique to like climb the rope, for example, or figuring out working on my grip strength so I can do like the monkey bars and all these like hanging rings and everything. So it's a nice little change of pace.
Gotcha. That's dope. That's super dope. You mentioned playing flag football. So you got a concussion and you can't like play any competitive like sports at all that like may like cause any like impact or.
Yeah. So one of my best friends is a doctor of physical therapy, and he's been involved in research studies on concussions. And I said, oh, my concussion wasn't that bad. I mean, it was bad, but like, I didn't have any lingering symptoms. And he was like, no, all concussions are bad. There's no scale of like this, symptom was, this one was bad, this one was not as bad. Like it's brain damage, basically. And he was saying, once you have one, you're, more susceptible to things getting worse. And I had one maybe like 7 years ago playing flag, which I thought wasn't a bad one, right? But it was still, my brain got shook, right? I ran into Chris Durr's bicep hit me in the back of the head.
Of course, it was Chris Durr.
It was Chris Durr. And then 4 years ago, my legs got tangled playing defense on a go route, and I just landed on my head, and I was unconscious for like 5 to 10 minutes. They said I had a seizure. They parted me off. So I'm not playing anymore. It's very weird to wake up and not know where you are and not be able to identify faces. I couldn't even see who was like over me. Like I couldn't figure out where I was or who these people were. So once you go through that, it's like, yeah, this is a recreational sport.
Yeah, probably a wrap.
So we called it a wrap. And then it's like, I mean, that was with Bobby at the time, but like he would never let me play even if I wanted to,
Yeah.
Like Snacks wouldn't let me play. She'd be like, no.
Yeah.
So
she gets in auntie mode and you better listen.
Man, she would have my ass if I tried to play again. She's like, I thought you were dead. So no, you are not playing ever again. So
I feel like the safety aspect people don't really talk about in football a lot. Like I haven't had any like major issues in flag because it's not really contact, and I, by the grace of God, knock on wood, right? Haven't had anything crazy, but like playing tackle for like the LFL and like playing for Chicago Bliss, like, and we're barely wearing clothes, first of all, so there's that. And then the pads that they give us they're not like the regular pads,
right?
And my biggest fear in playing that was getting hurt. My legs aren't padded, they're not protected. My my middle body isn't protected at all. I just have these shoulder pads, and they're like not even real shoulder pads, in a hockey helmet, in a football. So yeah, definitely. You got to take all the precautions. You know what I mean? Like a concussion, what can you do? You know what I mean? You don't expect to get, hit.
You don't expect to get a concussion in flag football.
Exactly, in flag. But in
the fact I got 2 is like,
right. That's just that's just bad luck, man. But yeah, definitely don't talk about the safety aspect of it. It's definitely
it's hard because it's like that it's a problem. CTE is real, and yet we both love the sport so much. Like
it's a risk every time,
all weekend, and I'm supporting money wise, like going to games of something that's a risk, and it's like are we going back to the old gladiator thing of where we're just watching people kill each other? Like I hope we're not. Like I hope that the protocols that they're putting into place are going to help us.
No, I think they are. I think they're doing a lot and changing a lot of the rules. And in the NFL, the way that you can hit, you can't go head to head and stuff like that
Right,
that are
right,
making the game a lot more safe.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm glad for that, but
And I think so too. Like, targeting, in the college football, those calls, like back in the day, we were like, yeah, you just rammed your head into someone else's head, like nice hit. And now
right.
it's like, oh, you can't do that at all. So
That's what America likes to see, though. We like to see people getting hit. We like to see the hard hits. They make for the best highlights. Not gonna lie.
They do.
Nobody got seriously hurt, but the hardest hits, they're like equivalent to big catches, big 80-yard catches.
Yeah, and we have to kind of retrain. Yeah, there was a bad hit last Thursday night. Arizona versus Green Bay. One of the guys got carted off, but he did raise his hand. I mean, he looked like he went to sleep. I actually haven't looked up what
and he probably did, but he probably came right
I've
back.
been there.
That's what's right.
Yeah, it's it's something that we have to deal with, right? It's a risk. That's why I love to see flag, especially with the kids, like
so much safer and just as fun. It's fun. You still get the deep balls, the crazy plays, the crazy jump balls, the diving for the flags. Like no hard hits, but it's just as entertaining to watch, and it's just as fun to play. In my opinion.
A few years ago, I think they were trying to make like a professional flag league. I think it was like Michael Vick was quarterbacking it. They just played like an expedition game. It was a little bit before its time.
Like the AFFL?
I don't know, maybe something. But I just remember seeing clips on it, and I was like, "God damn, that! It looked awesome, but it was a little bit before the time before flag was super popular." But I can see in the future having more professional leagues of men and women playing professional flag. You got to be really fucking good.
Yeah, they also they just started USA team. A few people that we know, a few of our friends are on there. Nadia, Megan are both on there. I think that's it from Chicago, but they're traveling. I know they play in Israel in a month or so.
Oh,
so
nice.
There's a men's team and a women's team. And they're the Team USA team, and they got a pretty good roster. They got some really good girls from the flag world on that team. So I expect them to do great. What's that? Oh, somebody said there's been a USA team.
Yeah, I think there has. Okay. But, COVID though also.
That's what's up then. But COVID, now that I know people on there.
Yeah. Oh,
wow, 10+ years. For women? Who is that? Who's this?
I think it's still Emma.
Oh, okay. Put us on game then, Emma.
Well, B, I guess you got a new team you got to get on.
Yeah, I guess that's the next goal, right? I actually went to the USA trials in Indiana.
I remember this, yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. It was like a real NFL combine. Like we ran the 40. What else did we do? We did like the height jumping thing. I don't know any of this. I'd never done it before.
Yeah.
But we did kind of like the side to side shuffle drift, hit the cones. Like they timed us. It was really well ran. And then we scrimmaged for like an hour. And it was dope. Like they had already had their team, so this was kind of for next year's team. They only had 12 spots, and they were kind of looking for maybe one more spot.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a dope experience, and that's the next goal as far as like flag football goes.
Nice. And Emma had said the women's national tackle team has been world champion since 2013.
Oh, so she's talking about tackle.
Well, I think there's two. There's the flag one that you auditioned for or try out for, and then there's the tackle one as well.
Oh, nice.
So
okay, I thought the flag was something newer, but that's dope.
Maybe we'll have to look into that. Get some experts in there. Well, yeah. It has been an amazing first show, Miss Labrinthia.
Amazing first show. First show.
Man,
shout out to you, Sherry, for getting the ball rolling on this, man. Because without you, I'd probably be still saying, "Oh, I want to be on a podcast. I want to do something." So shout out to you for getting it rolling. Shout
Well,
out
now you are.
and everybody in the Chicago podcast,
I was
man.
just about to ask you, give me your shout outs, but you already know. You
Right, I'm
already
already
know
doing
just to go straight into it. Yes, give your
Yeah.
official shout outs.
Like I said, shout out to you for getting the whole ball rolling. Shout out to the Chicago Clubhouse for helping us with everything and getting us started. All of them, Terrence, Allen, y'all know the whole spiel. Shout out to all of, my family and friends watching and supporting, and everybody else watching and supporting. We appreciate you guys, and we definitely trying to do some big things with this and get it started. So definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in.
I'll start my shout out to you, B. Amazing. You're a natural at it. Just like they knew you would be. Shout out to T Nick. I mean, T Nick has been trying to get me to do the podcast thing for a while. Alan and JB, I mean, they're really the brains behind this operation. Like, I didn't make these cool visuals. I didn't make, the flyers. We definitely, we're the face of this, but we have an amazing team behind us. Shout out to our guest, man, Coach K. She is phenomenal. I did a podcast with her.
Hey, I didn't forget about Coach K.
Yeah, I mean, and then, all of our, look, we already have fans. Lana, Cam, Shani, Mel, everyone that was in here. My sister, Jody, JB, I know he was watching. Everyone that took time out of their evening to watch us do this live. And shout out to everyone that is watching this at a later point in time, because guess what? We're going to still share this. And on that note, that concludes our debut episode of She Said What She Said. Thanks, everyone.
Period.
Till next
Have
week.
a good night.
Bye.
Bye.